Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have an important session. So today's session is divided into sections. Section one, you learn how to set up an EC2 instance over Amazon AWS. And the second part, we start learning about Kafka, which is a messaging technologies over Hadoop ecosystem. So previously I talked about Twitter analysis over Spark. And as you might remember, I said it's through RDDs, which is another types data. So you used to work with data frames, which is you learn over Python, maybe Excel, in SQL, you're very familiar. But RDD is kind of Spark specific. Unfortunately, the package, the Twitter Python package for and Spark has some conflicts. I will send you an instruction how to do Twitter analysis over Spark, but you should just downgrade your Twitter API package from the latest one to before version 4, and it might give you several errors because of incompatibility, but that's an optional thing and you don't have to do that. But other than that, you also know that you can do your final project over Databricks if your project is just have single person. So in case you're just one person or one, you can just do it over Databricks, which is much more convenient. If you're more than one, you should have two platforms. One could be Databricks, other one could be local instance, or you can use AWS. You can have a Spark over AWS too. So again, for the last session that I couldn't attend because of my sickness, I'm going to send you a Twitter analysis or Spark, but it might bring so many conflicts of new version of Spark and also newer version of TweetPy. Again, that's, I give it, I mean, I basically let you guys decide if it's the way that you want to go through. Otherwise, other than that, that video will be optional. Okay, so let's go back to our main topic, which is beyond to have a Spark environment over Amazon AWS. We only talk about clouding and why we go over cloud instead of having everything in-house. Does anyone recall why you might reach to cloud companies such as Google, AWS, and ask them to provide computing powers for you guys? Why you don't buy like Spark cluster or other computing hardware on your own? So it was like we had that session last month. Basically, in some there's usually two types of customers reaching cloud services. One of them, the customers are not sure about the business, which is not their own core. For example, there's so many governmental offices, and they might reach to so many people in the United States, and they are not sure how would be their business. Maybe they are, let's say, if should they have, should they interact their transaction maybe 20 gigabytes a day, 2 terabytes, 200 terabytes. So they are not sure. So they are not sure how much infrastructure they should invest, and also they are not that much agile. What I mean, those companies might be slow in terms of hiring new people, buying hardware, acquiring software. Those cases, those companies, they just reach to Amazon or Google and ask Google and Amazon provide a cloud service for them. There's other companies like startups. So startups also, they don't have enough money to hire somebody, let's say software engineer, to set up the hardware for them. And software and hardware engineers buying so many equipments, which they are not sure even if they can survive first year or not. So for them, it is more economical to use Amazon AWS. Maybe later on, if the business is growing, maybe we can just hire some engineer, software and hardware engineers, and maybe they can invest more. But at the early beginning, maybe they are not sure. On top of that, Google gives a grant for startups. So let's say if you want to have a startup and you don't have enough computing power, you can apply for a grant to over Google and ask them to give you like some money for doing your calculations. I'm not sure if you have seen Shashank Gupta. He used to be a MSBA student, and his first job was over a startup, and I think he applied for 120K like computing power from Google Cloud for the startup that hired him. So Google provides that grant, but I mean they are a multi-billion company. They are looking for their interest and profit. So just keep in mind those options. Questions so far about lab class today, and or any question that you might face so far? By the way, the final is approaching. Just keep in mind, you're almost the last semester of MSBA. You have a little higher expectation than previous like visual analytics class or other classes. So when you get to end of your education, there's more expectation. Also, I provided some feedback for your previous presentation. So please adopt those feedbacks. If I said you did a great job, please don't downgrade your presentation quality. Otherwise, please try to have a better presentation for your final. So today we want to set up Amazon Elastic Computing Cloud, or let's just summarize the EC2. So basically, it's very good for the situations that you have a very large data set or a stream of data which you cannot handle over your own system. You dump the data over Amazon AWS. Over EC2, you make it the basically operating system, and also you install all the softwares on top of that. And from EC2, you run your calculations. Some of that could be employing machine learning for predicting something. So having said that, setting up EC2 is a really good skill that I want you guys to learn. And it's quite useful. There's so many companies that are working with EC2. So as I said, could be startups or even large institutions. Amazon AWS is I think it's the most profitable section of Amazon. Okay, having said that, this is the link. So awsamazon.com/free. Please go there. You need to provide your email address, your credit card information. They ask you so phone number and validate it. Just please do that. I give you 5 minutes to do that. So you just start everything from here, aws.amazon.com free. It might take at least 5 minutes. At the end, they ask you which service you want. Please select free. The picture might be a little different. So, but again, just select free plan or basic plan over Amazon AWS. And you have an assignment over Amazon AWS, so please try to learn in the class. Otherwise, I'm going to record and upload the video, but I think it's much easier if you learn in the class. Also, you are going to copy and paste some codes from this PowerPoint. So it's better to download the PowerPoint and have it on your PC. Is there anyone who could finish the registration? You are still registering? Okay, I saw you almost done, so let's wait a little more. Okay, hopefully by now most of you finished the registration. So, is there anyone still wants time for registration in the class? Okay, you are good? Okay. So, sign into your console. So, your console might be something similar to me, not exactly, but at least you have some services like web app, virtual machine, EC2, registered domain, IoT device, so on and so forth. So try to find launch a virtual machine, EC2, or click on EC2. But if you don't see anything here, no worries. In the search bar, search for EC2. My system is a bit slow. It's still searching, so let me just. It asks you to like modern console, so let me just switch to modern one. So for some reason it's very slow today. So go to services and so could you guys see any section with the name of EC2? No? What was the, does your search bar works? For my, no? Working? So could you find EC2? Okay, that's good. For me, for some reason, it gives me some random error, but we are looking for Amazon Elastic computing. Yeah, I think I don't have internet, so it's the reason it gives me error. So. Yeah, yeah, for some reason, I'm just getting disconnected. So let me see. aws.amazon.com. Do you guys have internet? Okay, so let's see if this link works. I think I have some internet connection problem. And see. Okay, I'm back. So when you search for EC2, you should find something like this. Yeah. So if you don't see on your console, just search for EC2, and when you click on EC2, you see such a thing. So now we want to launch EC2 instance over AWS. Just click on launch instance. So at the first step, we need to pick which operating system you want to have on your Amazon AWS. So we are looking for free tier, but just keep in mind, I'm just maybe I have to repeat several times. Every semester we use free Amazon AWS, but most of the time you forget to terminate your instance, Amazon charges you. In Databricks, when you forget to terminate your instance, it just terminates after a while. But Amazon AWS never terminates. It just keep working and it would charge you. So every semester, some students get charged several $100s. But usually when they communicate with Amazon and they ask, we are just simple students, we want to do a class project, usually Amazon forgives. I'm not sure what happens this semester, but just keep in mind, I'm not sure how they find some reason to charge you guys. Maybe use some extra computing power. But again, after today's class, please terminate your instance. You won't get charged. Okay, we are going to pick a operating system. As you see, we have several options, even for free one. I'm selecting Ubuntu Server 204 SSD volume type. If you cannot see, or maybe you are afraid you forget, just go over your PowerPoint. This is the version that we are going to pick for EC2. So now asking about type of instance, just we go with default. So click on next, configure instance details. Number of instances 1. So even here, we don't play with the defaults. If you want, you can increase number of instances. You can increase computing power, but there's a charge associated to that. So click next, add the storage. And let's just have it as 8 gigabytes. So we go with defaults, 8 gigabytes of storage with that operating system. So then we need to have assign a tag and basically use it for connecting to Amazon AWS later. Basically, you're creating a key and tag and those kind of information for being authenticated for connection. So select add tag. Just put any random name that you want. I put a Spark key. Let's say 2022. Yeah, Spark 2022. Again, just let me pause if you cannot catch up, but all the steps are here too. This is, yes, sure. If you don't put it, you cannot. You should probably I think this is one. What is I think this one. Inexpensive plan. Now, this is only just to get you. So just put some key and base for connecting. Just basically random method. Yeah, you just open all this. So you just change the since you just registered your statistic account system. Put the order. Just now. So that any name that you don't put. So what I think the differences from me and if your EC2 looks different for me, because you just created EC2 and basically the skin is different. One place over EC2, they ask you to opt out to the older look EC2 instance. Please just convert to the older version. So both of you would be same step. If you make it one time with the older skin, you can easily do for the new version. But let's just do the steps that I provided because also your slides is based on the previous version that I created the course. So if you're in this step and you pick any just a random key and pair, key and value, click on configure security group. Here, change SSH to all traffic and custom from everywhere. So you want every traffic be able to connect to your Amazon AWS instance. So after change, don't forget to change these two, otherwise later on you get some errors. So click on review and launch. Seems good to me, and then launch. So here, we want to download the key. So do you remember we had a key and pair? Just put any name here, Spark, AWS, let's say any random name, and download the key pair. So basically, this is something a username and password that you use for connecting to your Amazon EC2 instance. Then just click on launch instance. So it just showed me a notification that instances are launching. Click on view instances. And as you see, my instance says pending. It just means Amazon is creating basically a system for me, including hardware and software. The software here just has some parts of Linux Ubuntu, and that's it. So as you see now, we create an instance over Amazon AWS. I wait a couple of minutes for you guys to catch up. Then we reach to that instance and install Spark over Amazon AWS. Tingly, I love your keyboard. You know, the coloring. When you type, the color changes. Yeah, that's super cool.
But I think I'm professional and I try to do know and I fail.
That's so funny. Okay, guys. So right now we make a Amazon AWS account. Over that account, we reach to the EC2 service, and using that free service, we created a hardware, and over that hardware, we install an instance of Linux. Now, over that instance, we want to make a Spark environment and Jupyter Notebook. So first, we need to connect from your PC to that instance. How? Through the key file that you just created. So you remember we had the key and value, you create and then you download. So in order to do that, you need to already have Partigen. I think last time we worked with the Putty, so, you might remember we connect to Spark using Putty. So more specifically, early in the semester, which we had a pre-installed version of Hadoop. So we use Putty. So if you install Putty, you should already have Partigen. From Partigen, just click load. Here from the file type, change it to all files. And probably when you change it, you can find the file that is just the key file that you just downloaded from Amazon. When you find it, just click open, press OK. Now we convert key to another version that is readable for Putty or Putty. So after loading, just click on Save Private Key. Yes. I just use this previous name, Spark AWS PPK, but you can just pick any name that you want. I just want to be consistent, so instead of having a Spark AWS PM, I have a Spark AWS PPK. I just converted the file. Let's save, and then you can close partition. Bless you. Okay, so open your putty or party. So this time we don't open partition, just party. Okay. Sorry. So the host name is Ubuntu at. So, but what you should put, remaining comes from AWS EC2 instance. So again, go back to your instances and click on your instance. Over your instance information, there's a location for public IPv4 DNS. Click copy. After clicking copy, go back to putty. So after Ubuntu @, just paste that IPv4 public DNS. You can put a name here. I'm just putting AWS class. So next time when I want to connect, I don't have to type everything. Then from SSH, go to AUTH and browse to the PPK file that you just created. By the way, I'm just saving this name, AWS class. So let me show you again what I did. So in the host name, I put Ubuntu @, and after @, I went to my instance and click on here to copy my IPv4 DNS value. I came over my putty. After @, I right click and paste the address. I saved my session. Then I go to SSH AUTH and I browse to the key file that I just created. Let me wait a little bit here for you guys to catch up. But again, please save your session. So next time you don't have to type Ubuntu @ the value, those kind of things. So. Okay, then click on just open and select accept. it used the key file, and now I'm connected to Amazon AWS. So so far you did the most important part. Just here, type Python. Oh, Python 3. So sorry, type Python 3. And just put any Python code that you want. So here I print hi to Clark students. Quit. Okay. And it quit function. I get back to the Ubuntu Linux command from over Amazon AWS. Okay, so we are able to connect to AWS and we can use so many command prompts. Okay, the next step is we want to set up PySpark, also Jupyter Notebook, and use the Jupyter Notebook on your system, but the engine behind the Jupyter Notebook on your system would be over Amazon AWS. So how we do, so here, just copy and paste all the codes here with me, one by one. For example, I select Ctrl+C. Over here, there's my putty. So yeah, I just right click and it would be paste and run the command. So the first command, I'm just updating my system. So with apt-get update. And I'm installed Python 3, the latest version. I say yes. Then I want to install Jupyter Notebook. So for Jupyter Notebook, I have to copy and paste several codes. And I'm going to install Java over Amazon AWS. Java version, I can be sure I have the a Java instance over a Java installed instance over my EC2. And I'm checking Java version. Yeah, I have Java version 11 on my system. And I installed Scala. Scala is basically the main programming language behind Spark. So Scala is heavily used for developing over Spark environment. With the Scala version, I can check if I have that version installed. Again, I'm installing another package for notebooks. Okay. So far, we have Jupyter Notebook, Python, and Java and Scala installed on my system. Then I'm just downloading Spark, and with sudo tar -zxvf, I extract that Spark file that I downloaded over my AWS. Control C. Okay, it seems it cannot find it. Is there anyone who could be able to download the Spark from here? It seems to just give me some random error. It seems the Spark server is down. So let me check. Yes, let me wait a little bit here and to see if the server comes back, because it seems it just it either doesn't provide or it has been removed today, because I installed this package today morning and I'm pretty sure it was available, but for now, for some random reason, I'm getting some random errors. So yeah, it just started downloading. So let me see if there's any typo. So it seems there's a typo here. So guys, if you cannot download it, I'm sending a link over Telegram. So let me just email it to you guys. Okay, I'm going to also update your Moodle since that link was broken. So sorry for that. Now I put the new link and it just worked. So after downloading Spark Hadoop with sudo tar -zxvf, I'm extracting that zip file. But TGZ is a type of zip file. Okay, cool. Then let's go to that folder to see if it's extracted correctly. Yeah, it seems everything is fit and set properly. So then put cd. So with cd command to get to root. No, sorry. Cd. And we install pip3 find the Spark package. Now we need to change configuration and make a certification for basically the key and the key for connecting to the Spark. So I copy this command, click on over putty, right click. I make a certificate for the certifications. I make a certs folder. Then I get to the folder and run this command to register all the keys and that I want to later on use for connecting. So right click, select. Here it asks you for some general question like which country is from, state. You can put any information you want for the keys, but you can just say, click next, 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 and just finalize it. And I go to the Jupyter folder. And here I'm just changing the configuration of my Jupyter notebook. In order to finish it, I need to press I and use arrow key, just put one empty spaces there, and just copy and paste all the configurations in here. Select, Ctrl C, and then just right click here. Then I just put all the configuration in it. It just show me this configuration is for the location of Jupyter Notebook server files and all the IP and connections that Spark and Jupyter Notebooks need to know to be able to connect to each other. And in order to save, you should press Escape, ESC button on your keyboard. ESC button, then type comma WK exclamation mark, comma WK exclamation mark, press enter. Okay, so let me just go to the root with cd command. Then to be all the certification implemented and all the configuration to be loaded, I need to just exit this command prompt and then log in back. Exit. I go to party. Oh, sorry, no, it's not party. So where's my party? Okay, I think it's just exiting here. AWS class is my username and password that I saved. Again, this time also I go to SSH, AUTH, then I browse to my key file that I just created, open, and open. Okay, now I got back to the AWS environment. Here, just wait a couple of minutes, or if you guys want to catch up or have questions, then I go to the next step. But the big picture is all those you saw so many codes. With those codes, I installed Jupyter Notebook, I installed Spark, and then change the configuration file. It looks like it's not exactly the same, but just for making oversimplify it, you might remember we worked with the environment variables a lot. So you want to introduce where is your server address, where is your Spark folders. So it's somewhat similar, not exactly the same, but we also change some configuration to be able to Spark and Jupyter Notebook to be communicate with each other. Okay, so let's go to the certification folder and change its mode. And with cd command, I get to the root and just type Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so as you see, it's just telling me the address of Jupyter Notebook over 127.0.0.1 port 8888. So do you guys remember what does 127.0.0.1 means? So we had similar thing when we wanted to install local instance of Hadoop and Spark. So 127.0.0.1 there means just a local host, local or local server. So here your Spark or Jupyter Notebook here is installed over a server within Amazon AWS, which is and 127.0.0.1 means just the Jupyter connect to the server that is already installed within Amazon AWS. But you guys once also connect to that server, and be able to use Amazon AWS Power on your own system. How? Instead of 127.0.0.1, you put the Amazon AWS address, because you are not local to Amazon AWS, you are outside. So let's see how I do it. So here I select right click to be copy. I come here and paste it. Just see what happens. It doesn't go anywhere because 127.0.0.1 is a local host for Amazon AWS. I'm not local to Amazon. I'm outside. So you need to change 127.0.0.1 to an Amazon link address. How? Just come here and select your public IPv4 DNS. Copy. Come here and change 127.0.0.1. So it might give you a warning because for them it doesn't seem a regular HTTPS, but just it's okay. So click on advance and proceed to the address. So now I'm as an outsider connect to the Jupyter notebook inside my Amazon AWS. So this Amazon AWS that you see here is not from my own system. This is basically a mirror of Jupyter notebook over Amazon AWS. So let me show it here on the board. I want to change my background, so back to, yeah, let's see if I can change it. Okay, hopefully your friends can see. So this is your own PC. You have a web browser, so here like HTTPS, whatever address. We want to work with the big data. We cannot handle everything over on our system. We get a service from Amazon. So we are using EC2 Amazon AWS service. Over this, you have Linux, you have hardware, you have operating system, you have processors, a set of processors. So here, this is a Jupyter Notebook engine. So So basically all of those installations that we had here for just using this engine inside your browser. So if you look at my browser here, this is a Jupyter Notebook over my like Chrome Internet Explorer, but the background is a Jupyter Notebook engine that's over Amazon AWS. And again, we are using a fleet here. You might actually we have this is, I know it might be a little complicated for you today. I record the video and upload over Moodle, but please do practice. I know every year some of you get hired in some companies that they having AWS skills is necessary. With this one, you almost took the most important part of AWS, which is actually the most complicated one. You as a business analytics majors, you need to do machine learning, data preparation, those kind of things. So you click new, maybe Python one. Let's see if they have NumPy. Yeah, even there's not NumPy, so you have to install everything. So anyway, so for using a Spark here, you need to use find a Spark package, which in one of your sections, I show you how to have this one. And you already installed find a Spark package in this Amazon AWS too. So in one of the steps, I'll show you. So as your next assignment, just you see one of the Jupyter notebooks that we had before and replicate it here. So this is your next assignment. Make the Amazon AWS EC2, make these connections, and just pick one of the Jupyter notebooks that you have, and just replicate one of the sessions that you have. Doesn't need to be complicated, just even the simplest one is okay. And this is actually an important assignment. On top of that, if you're doing a group project, it could be a part of, you need to have at least two platforms. One could be Databricks and one Amazon AWS or local instance. For me, all of them are same. So in Amazon AWS, in local instance, instead of Amazon AWS EC2, whatever, you have a local hardware operating system, whatever, that you connect to Jupyter Notebook. For me, conceptually, it's not too much different. Questions? Yeah, I think some of you, if you guys had questions, please reach me later. I know this is a complicated session, but based on my experience, this is a really good skill. I mean, being able to do cloud computing, doing machine learning over cloud is really good skills. And even in some interviews, they might ask you if you have some experiences, which if you just practice it more, you can have this skill. It's difficult at the beginning because you never had it before, but just with a little practice, it should be super easy for you. I record this session, upload it later, but just the last but not least, again, Amazon is a for-profit company. Although they said this is like a free server, always, every semester, your friends get charged. And after they get charged for hundreds of dollars, usually they reach Amazon, they reach customer service, and they say, we are a student, we wanted you for your class, for our class project. Usually Amazon forgives them. I never see any student get charged, but I cannot 100% sure for this semester. What can you do after doing your assignment? Come here, select the instance you just created, and on instant state, click terminate instance. If you do that, you won't get charged for hundreds of dollars. Yes, I'm terminating. Again, I'm still not sure how Amazon charges students when they say this is a free service, but let's see, they find some ways of charging. So anyway, so I think we are done for today. Let's see, please do a lot of practice for this session. This is a complicated one. And let me just stop recording and